Hello, and welcome to my talk for this week. It's good to be back in Canada after 4 weeks away. I hit the ground running on Sunday, and things don't seem to have slowed down since. This coming Saturday sees the beginning of the final Archdeaconry pilgrimage, this time in the area around Fredericton. It's been delayed by 2 years, but providentially will conclude at the cathedral on Pentecost Sunday. It's easy to be self-indulgent in these talks, and perhaps I have been so at times over the past couple of years. During the next few talks, I'm going to reflect on the issue of grief. Of course, it will be helpful to me, but I also hope it might be so for others too. It's strange that there are times when you don't know what you have done until you stop doing it, perhaps like banging your head against the wall and then eventually stopping. During my time in the UK, I was working quite hard at making sure all the funeral arrangements were in place, dealing with the bureaucracy which surrounds a death, trying to keep up with some diocesan matters, and supporting my dad as he goes through loss and beginning to discover what life is like for him without my mother after more than 63 years. Returning here has meant some of those pressures have been lifted, and the grief is beginning to hit home to me. The first aspect is the physical nature of things. I feel as if my body's not quite mine. Around my head in particular, there's a sense that my face has been extended by cotton batton. My brain is also spinning, and I'm finding it hard to keep any thoughts in a straight line. My mind keeps jetting off in multiple directions, and I'm not able to settle to anything I want to do. There are certain things that I say when I talk to people who are bereaved, and I'm finding them happening to me, but in different ways than I thought. An example is guilt. We can feel guilty about what we might have done for or said to the person who has died. We might also feel that we played a role in their dying. I don't feel any of these things. My mother left us several years ago as her dementia progressed. I did all I could and said what needed to be said. The guilt for me is deflected into a sense of dereliction of duty. I was away so long and situations needed me here. Also, I've had to leave my dad, and as his only child, it feels that I'm not fulfilling my responsibilities. I know logically these things are not true, but at an emotional level, they're very real, and it's in that realm that I'm living at present. Another thing I always tell people is that grief brings up grief. In other words, as we grieve, something in previous griefs rear their heads and in a sense distract us. Again, this time things are different. Of course, the loss of Janet is there and that of other friends and family. But these things are to be expected. At present, my grief extends far beyond that. I'm grieving things that at best I'm only marginally responsible for. The failings of the church across the years. The mistakes that I feel that I've made in ministry. The times when I've let people down. The hopes that I and others have had which have not been met. The best way I can describe it is that it feels like a loose shroud, not binding me, but restricting me. I shall be interested to see how God works with this. I know that we cannot be separated from the love of God which is in Christ Jesus. There's a shaping taking place, and I think it's only just beginning. Once again, thank you for being here, and thank you for the support that I've received over the past few weeks from many across our diocese. God bless.